Are you suffering with back pain and you're wondering whether or not you should see a doctor? If you are, then this video is going to tell you exactly what you should do. Hi everybody, my name is Will Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties Specialist Physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today we're going to be talking about when you should see a doctor when you've got back pain. Now, before we dive into the content of the video, if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel using the link in the bottom right of the video, because then you'll be the first to hear about our back pain videos when they come out. We've got tons of videos like this, which will give you exercises for back pain and show you what you need to do to improve your health. So subscribe to the channel and you'll get all of that as soon as it happens. Now that that's been said, let's talk about back pain and when someone should get assessed by a doctor. Now, what I've done for this video is I've split the video into 3 parts, okay? So the first part of the video describes times when you should get attention for your back pain from a physio or an osteopath or a chiropractor or maybe your doctor. So these are times when it's not serious, but you probably need a little bit of help with your back. So that's the first part. The second part are times when you definitely should go and see your GP. So the second part are times when you're probably not going to get a huge amount of help from a physio and there might be something medical underlying your back pain. So a doctor and an assessment from them is needed. And then the third time are the emergency situations. So the third part of the video describes the times when you need to go to A&E, accident and emergency, or the emergency room to get an assessment on an urgent basis. So there are signs that we look for people at each of these 3 stages. They're all caused by different problems that can lead to back pain. So we're going to talk about what those problems are, and I'm going to show you the signs and symptoms that indicate, those are the things you need to do. I'm going to caveat this by saying that everyone is different. If you have any new episode of back pain, we usually recommend you get it checked out. And this video is not to be taken as gospel. So the information I'm providing to you on this video is accurate, but it doesn't cover absolutely everyone. So if you have a feeling that you want to get something checked out by a doctor, and I haven't mentioned it in the video as a symptom, don't listen to this. Listen to your own intuition. Go and get checked out, because obviously you know your body better than anyone else. So first of all, let's talk about the times when you should be checked out by a practitioner like me, a physio or a chiropractor or an osteopath who can help you with your back. And really what we would recommend is anyone who's been suffering with back pain that hasn't gone away for longer than 2 weeks should be assessed by a healthcare professional. Now, this is not because it's probably something serious causing your back pain. This is just because if it's been there for 2 weeks, it's probably not going to just disappear on its own. There's obviously something causing it. It might just be a mechanical problem. It might just be a problem with the way you're moving. Maybe something's got tight. Maybe you strained a muscle. But whatever it might be, someone like myself can help you to get better faster. And why would you suffer for any longer than you need to if there's help available? The other thing is, the quicker you get a problem sorted, the easier it tends to be to get it fixed. So timely attention is key. That's why we recommend anyone who's had a persistent episode of back pain for longer than 2 weeks gets it checked out by a practitioner like myself, and then we can help them out. So that's a very wide category of people. So anyone who suffered for longer than 2 weeks gets checked out by a practitioner like me. Now let's talk about times when a medical problem might be responsible for back pain. And in these circumstances, you're probably better off going to see a doctor rather than a physiotherapist. So let's talk about the signs and symptoms to look for. So the first sign that indicates you should probably go and see your GP about your back problem is if the pain is incredibly severe. Now, non-sinister problems can cause very severe pain. If you've ever pulled a muscle in your back, you know that the pain can be incredibly severe. So just because you've got severe pain doesn't necessarily mean there's anything very serious going on. But what it does mean is that you probably need some pain relief. So if you've got very severe back pain, chances are going to your GP will be beneficial because they'll be able to prescribe something to help you in the short term with the pain. Now, there are some serious problems that can cause severe back pain. One example is an aortic aneurysm, which is where you get an aneurysm of the biggest blood vessel in the body called the aorta. Now, the aorta comes down the midline of the body, but for some reason, the pain that happens with an aortic aneurysm can often be crippling back pain. So if you have very, very severe back pain, go straight to your GP and ask whether they can just check it's nothing serious and give you some pain relief as well. Now, the second sign that you should get checked out by your doctor if you've been suffering with back pain is if you're also losing weight, you're feeling generally unwell, and you've been getting night sweats. Now, these three signs can indicate a more serious pathology. Sometimes it can indicate the presence of cancer. It doesn't always match up with a cancerous problem, but those three signs are often what we see in people who are suffering with that problem. It can also indicate an infection or something else that needs some medical attention. In any of these circumstances, people with those symptoms always need to be checked out by a medical practitioner. They might need blood tests, they might need a scan, they might just need to be generally examined. So if you're suffering with weight loss, night sweats, or generally feeling unwell at the same time as having back pain, then it's definitely a good idea to get checked out. Now, obviously, there are other things that can cause weight loss. There are other things that can cause night sweats, the most obvious one being the menopause. So night sweats is very common in ladies who are over 50. But if you've had a new onset of any of these symptoms with or without back pain, it's pretty much always a good idea to go and get checked out by the doctor. And then the third instance where we recommend going to get checked out by your doctor with back pain is if your back pain is non-mechanical. Now, when I say non-mechanical, what I mean is that the back pain doesn't tend to respond at all to movement. So it's there all the time, it's constant, it doesn't matter if you're standing, it doesn't matter if you're bending, it doesn't matter if you're lying down, it's there all the time, or it's variable and it doesn't respond at all to movement. Now, most of the problems that we see here in the clinic are mechanical problems. So typically, someone's back pain might get worse if they bend forward, it might get better if they stand up straight, it might get worse if they sit, it might be better if they go for a walk. It responds in some way to movement. It could be the opposite. It could be that it gets better when they bend forward or worse when they lean back. Doesn't matter what it is, it responds to positions, it responds to actions, it responds to movement. And those tend to be the types of back pain that do very well with physiotherapy. Now, some people will have back pain that doesn't respond at all to movement. It doesn't matter if you're sat or lying, the pain is variable or the same all the time. Now, this can often be a sign that it's something non-mechanical causing it, like an infection or an illness, or something impinging somewhere in the spine that needs medical attention. So if you have non-mechanical pain, that is another sign that you should go and see your GP. So those are the signs that you need to see your doctor and maybe not a physio about your back pain. Let's talk about the more severe cases, so the emergency cases where you should go straight to A&E. Now, the biggest cause of people with back pain who need to go to A&E is a condition called cauda equina syndrome. And this is a very severe condition caused by a squashing of the nerves right at the base of the spine that causes a very different array of symptoms. So one of the biggest symptoms and the most important emergency ones to look out for are problems with the bladder and the bowel. Okay, if you have bladder and bowel problems along with your back pain, you should go straight to A&E. The reason is when the cauda equina, which is basically this bundle of nerves at the base of the spine, when it gets crushed by typically a disc, the nerves that supply the bladder and the bowel can no longer function properly. So someone who has this condition may have incontinence, they may not be able to initiate the flow of urine, they may not even be able to feel when they need to go to the toilet, it just happens. They may not be able to stop the flow of urine, so they lose control of their bladder and bowel function. Sometimes this can start quite subtly, so in any case it needs to be checked out. It doesn't have to be an extreme symptom to be worrying. So look out for bladder and bowel problems. If you're in the UK, we recommend people call 111 if they have one of those issues, or they just head straight to the emergency room. Another symptom, which is for a similar cause, is something we call saddle anesthesia, which is numbness around your private parts and your bottom. Now, if you start to get this, again, it's because the nerves around the base of the spine have been squashed and they need to be unsquashed very, very quickly. Otherwise, these disabilities can be permanent. So if you have numbness around your bottom along with your back pain, that is another sign that you should go to the accident emergency room. Skip the physio, skip the GP, just go straight away. Now, the other sign that people should go straight to the emergency room is if they have a very profound weakness in either of their legs. Again, this can be a sign of a very severe nerve entrapment, and the longer a nerve stays trapped for, the less chance it has of getting better, even after you untrap it. So timely intervention is key. If you're suffering from cauda equina syndrome, you typically only have 24 hours to act, otherwise it's too late. So timely intervention is very important. You must go straight to the accident emergency room if you have any of those symptoms. Now, cauda equina syndrome can also come about with other symptoms as well, so this list is not exclusive. These are just the most common signs we see. So number one is bladder and bowel problems. Number two is saddle anesthesia. And number three is a very profound weakness in one or both legs. Now, the weakness one can happen for other causes too, so that doesn't automatically make it a medical emergency, but it definitely should be checked out as quickly as you can. Anyway, I hope that video has been useful. So just to recap, anyone who has back pain that's been there for longer than 2 weeks should go and seek some kind of attention from a physio or their doctor. Anyone who's been losing weight, having night sweats, or suffering from general feelings of unwell should go and see their GP. Anyone with very severe back pain should also go and see their GP. And anyone with non-mechanical back pain should also go and see their GP. And then on the other end of the spectrum, getting even worse, we've got the problems with bladder and bowel, numbness in the saddle area around the bottom, and profound weakness in the legs. These people should go to accident and emergency. So I hope that video's helped you out. This is obviously not a definitive guide to everything. It's just to give you a rough idea. If you're in any doubt whatsoever, you should seek medical attention as quickly as you can. But hopefully that clarifies a few questions. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope that video's made sense and that you've got something out of it. If you want more from me, please feel free to pick up a copy of my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below this video. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching. I love reading your comments, so please leave one below if you found it useful. I look forward to speaking to you on the next video.